Hi, welcome to Atkins in the Kitchen. My name is Kent Altena, and this week we're going to be making another entree meal in the kitchen, and we're going to be making a meal that might be one of the favorites of kids or children on a low-carb diet. We're making low-carb chicken nuggets, so come along with me as we cook it up low-carb style. Alright, so first things first, we're going to make our breading. So first we're going to use 1.5 cups of Parmesan cheese from the can. Break up any chunks that there might be. To this we're going to add 1/2 cup of coconut flour. To this we're going to add 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, three teaspoons of onion powder, one teaspoon of ground black pepper, and finally, to promote crispiness of the chicken, we're going to put in a teaspoon of baking powder. Alright, we're going to give our breading a good shake. Okay. Now we're going to make the mixture for the egg bath for the chicken to sit in. So roughly 1/2 cup of cream. To this we're going to add 1 egg. And roughly 1/2 cup of water as well. We're going to mix it up, or beat the egg. Alright, so now let's finish off the chicken. I've already cut up most of my chicken into strips, but I'll show you the final one. Trim off any of this excess fat off the chicken. And then you want to cut it on the diagonal against the grain of the chicken. Alright, let's take the other pieces off. Alright, now that I've washed my hands, I'm going to give these a quick seasoning with some Cajun, but you could just use regular salt and pepper if you would like. And I'm going to dump roughly 3/4 cup into a larger container. So first things first, you want to give these a good first coat. And place these on your plate. Repeat the process. One of the reasons you want to add this first coat of breading on the chicken is to make it hold the moisture in better of the egg bath that we're going to do next. Using my other hand, I'm going to add a little bit more breading to the bottom. Move my cutting board to the other side. And this is where you become having a process. Dunk the chicken in the egg bath and put it in the breading. I like to do a couple at a time. And at this point, you shake it up and put it on your second plate. We'll do it one more time. Give it a good shake. Alright, I'm going to finish the rest of these off camera and we'll catch back up at that point. Okay, so I finished breading up all the chicken and then I put them in the freezer for roughly 5 to 10 minutes to help the breading stay on. So at this point, I'm going to be using my deep fat fryer set at 375 degrees. You could very well do this with on your stovetop, shallow frying it. I'm going to be making about 1/3 of the recipe at a time. At this point, we're going to set our timer for 5 minutes. We're going to let it cook for 5 minutes. We want to shake it about halfway through just to make sure it's cooking on top and on bottom and they're not sticking together. At that point, we're going to put this batch in the oven at the 200-degree heat that I preheated my oven at, and we'll catch back up at that point. Okay, our timer just went off. Let me shut it off. You can see that the breading has stayed on the chicken very well. You might be wondering what to have with your chicken nuggets. I kind of like just the standard ketchup or my low carb barbecue sauce. However, for a different idea, you might want to use one of my buffalo sauces for a low carb takeoff of boneless buffalo wings. Well, these are going in my oven for roughly another 10 minutes so I can cook off the other 2/3 of the chicken. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope this reaches everyone in great health. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.